welcome back to another episode of Locker Room Talk. This is episode 2. I'm Brian.
I'm Rick.
Yeah, so what's up, Rick?
It's a big week. It's a good week in fantasy.
Yeah, it was a good week too. A lot of good things, a lot of bad things, a lot of good matchups, not a lot of upsets, I think. A lot of good teams won this week.
Except for the Chiefs.
Except for the Chiefs. That was a really good game. Yeah, all
Let's
right.
get into it.
Let's get started. We're going to start off with some NFL news coming into week 3. Justin Fields has officially been named the Bears starter. Andy Dalton's dealing with a bone bruise, so we should see Justin Fields maybe for a few weeks.
No, I think once he starts, he'll keep his job. I mean, we'll see. But listen, rushing floor, immediate top 12 upside. So stash him on your bench, pick him up. He's a good waiver wire ad. Even if you have a quarterback, you got trade bait now for somebody who has a struggling quarterback like Tannehill.
Yeah, hopefully he plays to his potential and he could keep his job. But I think Andy Dalton is the veteran there, and they like him a lot because he's not a rookie. He's not going to commit this mistake. So we'll see when he comes back. Another quarterback that's dealing with some injury is Carson Wentz. He's still experiencing soreness in both his ankles.
Yeah, he got Carson bent on that play underneath the pile there. But,
yeah, it was pretty bad. Antonio Brown was placed on the COVID-19 list as of today. He could still be available if he passes 2 of his COVID tests in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucs are 100% vaccinated, the entire team, so we'll see what happens, but I think he might be able to get back out there.
Yeah, hopefully everything works out there. And another quarterback is dealing with some injuries. Tua Tagovailoa has fractured ribs. He won't play in week 3. Expect Jacoby Brissett to play.
Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins, they have a good defense, but I don't think there's one fantasy player I want to even own on that offense right now. Myles Gaskins is playing like a glorified James White, which is like okay in deeper leagues. But at least teams like the Jets and the Texans, you have Brandon Cooks, Corey Davis, guys like that.
Yeah, all right.
You know what? I got some more news this week.
Okay.
Big trade in my bigger, higher stake league. I pretty much got over on this guy. I mean, I don't like to use the word retarded, but the guy's a real moron. I actually ended up getting Austin Eckler for Cooper Kupp. So I got it in a standard league. So I pretty much got a top 7 running back for wide receiver 1-2 right now.
You know what? I got something for him.
Gotcha, bitch.
I got him.
All right, that's it for news this week.
All right.
All right, this next segment we have for you guys is Studs and Duds of the Week. To start the week, we have Kyle Murray. He's been unstoppable for the past 2 weeks. This past week, he completed 29 of 36 passes for 400 yards, and he threw for 3 touchdowns. He did have a couple interceptions, but he looked good overall. He's doing his thing out there. He's putting his team on his back, and he's winning games out there for them.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing like an MVP right now, and even in fantasy, he's the best quarterback in fantasy right now. He's putting up more points than everybody, rushing, passing. They got talent around him, even improved from last year, so sky's the limit. He's got the number 1 spot right now.
For sure. Another guy that did really good this week was Lamar Jackson. He went 18 of 26 for 239 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. I mean, we don't expect Lamar to have a big passing game, but here's a stat to keep in mind. He is up to 193 rushing yards this year, putting him 3rd behind players like Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, and ahead of Dalvin Cook. So that's something to keep in mind. He's winning people leagues week to week. So
yeah, I mean, a week 1 slow start, but he looks like 2019 Lamar Jackson. So watch out. He could take the number 1 spot. He could easily be the best quarterback in fantasy, but let's see how the season goes.
I mean, if he keeps running like that, I mean, how can he be? Derrick Henry. Welcome back, Derrick Henry. after being shut down in week 1, he came back this week and he showed out. He came back with a vengeance, I would like to say. He posted his second highest fantasy points of his career. He ran the ball for 35 times for 182 yards with 3 touchdowns. And he also received 6 targets, brought them all in. So that's something to keep in mind. Looking forward, especially in that Tennessee team. They seem to not be able to still not find their passing playmaker.
I mean,
so
they'll get it together, new offensive coordinator. But, I mean, all hell King Henry. The guy's tantalizing. He just wears people down. Like, it's always the second half for him. Like, the defense just eventually can't tackle him in the second, third, fourth, and even deeper into the season. He just gets harder and harder to play against. So, if you got Derrick Henry, you had a good week.
yeah. Another stud we had this week was Aaron Jones. He ran the ball 17 times for 67 yards, and he had 3 receiving touchdowns as well as a rushing touchdown. Finished the week with 4 touchdowns. Another great story about him, this past week he was wearing his dad's ashes around in a necklace. He, I guess, dropped it during the game. They weren't able to find it. They ended up finding it after the game at almost like 2 in the morning. So thankfully he found it, but that's a cool story.
Yeah, it was cool. He played it off like, oh, if I did lose it, that's where my dad would want me to lose it. Also, side note, Adam Schefter tweeted, I can't steal this, first time on Monday Night Football someone scored 4 touchdowns since Marshall Faulk in 2001, I believe.
Wow.
All right, let's get into
Our summer receiver studs we had this week were Cooper Kupp, caught 9 passes for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. This past 2 games, he has seen 10-plus targets with 100-plus yards and at least 1 touchdown each of both games this year. So it seems to be that he is Matthew Stafford's favorite target. I think going forward he will be.
Yeah, he's definitely the number 1 receiver on the Rams right now. You can't really look at him and Woods equally. He went from a wide receiver 2 pre-draft. Now he's top 10 receiver. I mean, I would still keep him towards the back end, but you got to adjust your rankings. Cooper Kupp is the wide receiver 1.
Another stud this week is Tyler Lockett. Caught 8 passes for 178 yards and 1 touchdown. Obviously, this offense is built for Tyler Lockett.
Lockett.
He keeps coming out, and he's been making big plays. And even with DK there, I think he tied him with 10 receptions this week. But
yeah, I mean, he's crazy efficient. Like, he gets like 4 or 5 passes for like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. But back-to-back weeks, him and Cooper Kupp are top 3 receivers right now. I believe Kupp, Lockett, and Debo in that order are most receiving yards on a year. So if you draft them, congratulations.
Moving on to tight ends for studs, we have Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce?
Travis
Kelce.
I had a little margaritas before this, so I'm a little...
Okay.
Okay. All right. Travis Kelce, he is unstoppable and the most dominant tight end this year so far.
Oh, my God. You're tripping on your words. All right. Yeah. No, I mean, the guy is the most consistent player. Yeah. I mean, if you knew after these first 2 games, how, like, would you draft him differently? Would he move into the 6-5 range? Because he's got more fantasy points than Adams, Diggs, Ridley, DK, like all those guys. You know, I mean, he's literally a wide receiver playing tight end. I mean, top 5 receiver.
That touchdown he got this past week, he caught that ball down the middle and he ran through linebackers, cornerbacks, and he just looked like a wide receiver out there. So
yeah, he's the man.
Yeah. Another guy is Rob Gronkowski. Had 4 receptions for 39 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hey, it seems like Gronk got some of that fountain of the youth that Tom Brady's been drinking on because he has 4 touchdowns in his past 2 games put together. So Gronk just looks great out there. Him and Brady look greater than ever.
Yeah, Gronk and Brady are back, baby. I mean, look, he's the same age as Kelce. People don't know that, Gronk and Kelce. Who knows? Maybe Gronk's the top 3 tight end this year. He's 2 games in. I think he's a top tight end or second.
All right, now we got some duds for you guys.
All right, let's start with some duds. All right, listen, if you start this guy, Trevor Lawrence,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I mean, the guy passed for 118 yards and 1 touchdown, 0 interception. I don't even remember a quarterback playing a whole game and throwing for that little. So he's nowhere near being able to start in the league right now.
Yeah, I mentioned it last episode. That offense, the whole team just looks not good. They don't really look like they have anything planned going into each week. So they got to figure out a lot over there at Jacksonville.
This next guy's an even bigger surprise. After shredding it up in week 1, if you started this guy,
Congratulations,
yeah,
you played
he
yourself.
got the ball. All right, we're getting it together, guys. We're getting it together. All right, 237 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception for Dak Prescott. What can I say about this guy, Dak? You could start him every week. It was a one-off. Even Aaron Rodgers the week before can. So it was what it was. Now we got running back duds. First is CEH, which people are nervous about, and I would be too. He's not an important part of their offense right now. He has no burst, no runaway speed, but he has scoring opportunity nevertheless. Starting running back on the best offensive team in football. But if you started him,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah, with CEH, I'm worried myself because I have him in a lot of my leagues. I was a big believer in him coming in this year, but it just seems like he just doesn't fit in that offense to produce fantasy value. It just seems like they seem to throw the ball a lot more, and when they get to the red zone, he doesn't seem to be in there. So
yeah, they're not throwing the running backs. Yeah. I don't know if it's lack of talent or what it was, but
I'd be worried. I'd be looking to maybe move on from him, maybe look for some trades.
Yeah, you might have to reevaluate your team. He's playing more of like a flex in your RB2. All right, next guy on our list. We warned you about this guy, by the way. We said it was a Nick Chubb week, not a Kareem Hunt week. And if you start a Kareem Hunt,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
13 carries, 51 yards, 1 catch, 2 yards. I mean, we warned you. If you took our advice, maybe you did better.
I mean, you have to expect this moving forward in the season. It's Nick Chubb in front of him. So there's going to be a lot of games where Nick Chubb is just going to take over, and you're not really going to see a lot of Hunt. So if you plan on going the rest of the season using Hunt or subbing him in for a flex or even a running back too, this is the type of risk you're running into.
Yeah, game script has to do with Hunt sometimes. So, all right, wide receiver duds. Surprise here, Amari Cooper. If you started him,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
3 catches, 24 yards. I mean, that's as bad as it gets. Look for him to bounce back next week.
He did suffer a rib injury towards the end of the game. I think he's getting reevaluated today, so hopefully nothing serious.
Something to monitor. But if he does play, expect a bounce back game against Philly this week. DJ Shark, if you started him,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
1 catch, 19 yards. You don't want the Jags right now. Maybe Marvin Jones, but just move on. Next we got tight ends. Tyler Higbee, if you started him,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
1 catch, 8 yards. I mean, he should be a top 12 tight end, so keep rolling with him. It's too early to get away. And then Kittle, look for him to have a big bounce back week this year, but this week. But if you started him last week,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I mean, 4 catch, 17 yards. You drafted him in the 4th, 3rd round, so you need to get better than that.
This next segment we have is Week 3 matchups. All right, Rick, what's our first matchup this week?
All right, let's start with Thursday Night Football. 2 of the maybe not most exciting teams to watch, but nevertheless, if you're in fantasy, it's still interesting. Carolina at Houston. Let's talk about quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, pretty good so far. Could get better. He's in maybe the 15 to 20 category right now. And what do you got on Sam Darnold?
I mean, it's another easier matchup for this team, this Carolina team. So I expect them to have another good game.
Should have a big game.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor on the IR. Yep. For the Texans. So we got rookie David Mills. David Millions.
Yeah, he made some nice plays towards the end of the game, but it should be a tough game. The Carolina defense is pretty good too.
Yeah, they shut down the Jets and the Saints. I mean, the Jets, but whatever. But running backs, I'm not starting anybody on the Texans. Not only would it be iffy anyway, but Carolina shut down Kamara and they shut down the Jets' rushing offense. So that's a brick wall I don't want to run into. McCaffrey, you starting him?
Yes. What?
Yeah. No, McCaffrey must start. Again, number one on a week as far as I'm concerned. It's hard not to put him number one every week, just the usage he gets. Easy matchup, should kill it here. Receivers are a little
just
more
one thing about Kamara before we move on. I am a little scared with Kamara so far this season. It seems like he just can't get it going, maybe because the offense can't get it going.
Yeah, but when the Saints come up, we'll just get into that.
Oh, I thought we were. I'm sorry. I thought.
Yeah, no, Carolina. So now the receivers for this game, we got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson on the Carolina side. You're starting DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson is not the same Robbie Anderson as last year. He's getting less targets, but he's a home run hitter.
He's become more of a touchdown dependent so far this season.
Yeah, boom or bust type of guy, so keep that in mind. Texans, this is probably the only guy you want to start. And I think I would still start him just because he's getting so heavily targeted, even with the rookie, is Brandon Cooks.
Yes.
So you can roll with Brandon Cooks. Tight ends, nobody relevant here. Let's move on to the next match. All right. Colts at Titans. Quarterbacks. Looks like Wentz will be out a week. I don't know who's starting there, but
yeah, it's. I didn't write down their names, but it's. I don't know what their names
could
are.
be Jacob Eason or
Eason, and then there's another dude.
So Tannehill. I don't know if this is going to be Tannehill's breakout game for the season. The Colts are a good defense, but they are at home, and their secondary has been slipping. Look for Julio and AJ to have a good game. Derrick Henry, not a great matchup, but he's Derrick Henry. You start him. Now, Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, we should. I don't know, man. He keeps getting the attempts. He's just not producing right now. So
He's going to get touchdowns, though. He has, I think, top 5 in goal line carries this year.
Yes.
2 games or within the 5. So he's going to get that. Yeah. Receivers, not touching anybody in the Colts. Titans, you could roll with Julio and AJ here,
Yes.
I think, right?
They're only getting better. Julio's only going to get better. The offense is only going to get better. They're still, I feel like, warming up, and I think this could be a little breakout week for Julio and AJ.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's starting tight end here. Ferkster, Morale Cox. I mean, deeper leagues. But we can go on to the Atlanta Falcons at the New York Giants.
Let's go, Giants.
All right, quarterbacks. Actually, I think you can stream
Daniel Jones.
Jones this week against
I
Atlanta
would.
Falcons.
If you need to, I would.
2 quarterback leagues. Definitely a good I think
For
he's
sure.
a borderline week QB1, QB2 this year. This week.
I mean, Daniel plays good against bad teams, so.
Yeah. I'm not touching Matt Ryan this year. That offensive line is shoddy. New offensive coordinator.
Barkley. Last week we saw him. I think his usage went up to 85%. So this week I think they're probably gonna let him go. So expect a big week. Hopefully a big week from Barkley.
Yeah. Last week we warned you to stay away from him.
Yep.
Roll him in your lineups this week.
For sure.
Short week last week. Long week this week. You had Thursday night to Sunday day. Now.
Easy matchup.
Easier matchup. This is going to be Barkley's breakout, if not close to breakout game. So roll with him. Mike Davis or Cordell Patterson. Sit him if you can.
Cordell had a big week this past week, so could see a
He's
lot more from him this week.
Yeah, he's interesting because you could usually put him in a receiver or running back slot. But tight ends, Ingram's, I think, back this game, but I'm not touching Ingram yet.
Just not yet. I mean, I pick him up if he's available. I think pick him up.
If you need somebody on a flyer. Kyle Pitts, wait for him to break out. He's getting targets. They're moving him all around the field. Receiver, tight end, wherever they move him.
Russell Gage is also out this week, so
uptick targets, all that. Receivers, you got to start Calvin Ridley.
Yes.
Nobody else on the Falcons. Giants, I think this is a big Galladay game. I think this is Galladay's breakout game.
Galladay's been getting the looks that we want. We just got to make it happen now. It's just Daniel and him connecting.
Yeah, I think Ingram and Barkley is going to show the regression of Shepard a little bit after these 2 weeks because they'll get some of the shorter yards. Yep. But I think Galladay's bigger days are ahead of him, and I think it starts here.
So, yeah, especially with Barkley being Barkley again and Evan Ingram. He's a talent out there, so there's going to be a lot more opportunities for players like Galladay out in the field.
Absolutely. All right. Next matchup. This is going to be a good game. LA Chargers versus Kansas City Chiefs. Quarterbacks, starting them both. Obviously, it should be a shootout. It should be a good game for both.
I would want everything involved in this game on my starting lineup. It's going to be a shootout, I think.
Herbert is uptick this week in his rankings. I would put him at 5th, 6th. He's going to have to keep up with Mahomes. He's already in a pass-heavy offense. He's a great start this week. Running backs, Clyde, start him in your flex. If you have to, RB2, but again, start adjusting expectations. Yeah. But if he scores, he scores. Eckler is going to have a great game. He catches 9 passes last week, 17 carries. The usage is crazy. No matter what the game flow is, he's going to be involved. So look for him. And he's getting goal line carries this year, so he could punch it in too. Tight ends. Jared Cook is coming on a little bit, so he good first game, okay second game. Let's see how involved he is in the third.
I still see him as a boomer bust tight end every week, so.
But he booms sometimes. Kelsey, I mean, we spoke about him. Receivers, Keenan Allen and Mike Wilson, both must starts. I mean, Mike Williams is going to have another good game. I could almost guarantee it. Tyreek Hill, obviously, and McCall Hardman is pretty much the same guy every game, boomer bust, kind of like a Ruggs MVS. Next matchup, Bengals at Pittsburgh. Quarterbacks, Joe Burrow. He's better than expected coming off injury, but I'm not starting him at Pittsburgh. There's no shot.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh I think this is a big offensive week for them.
Yeah, I think they're going to get it together this week. Yep. Big Ben is way better at home. I think he's going to have a decent week. Boost up Juju and Claypool if Deontay's out, which he might be.
I expect a big week from Claypool, big week from Juju, big week from Najee Harris.
Claypool is going to get a touchdown this week. Mark my words. He's going to get a touchdown. Receivers on the other side. You start Chase, start Higgins, Boyd if you have to in PPR, but I mean
Pittsburgh is a good defense.
Pittsburgh's a good defense, better at run, but you could start receivers against them. Joe Mixon, I mean, he gets so much usage. He's an RB1. He shouldn't have a great week, but you got to start him. It is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Najee Harris could string together a second good week here. He could be getting more comfortable with the NFL. It's a good matchup, better offense as the Steelers get it together. I don't think it's Big Ben's age as much as people are saying. I think it's them just getting it together and clicking, new offensive line, stuff like that. So Najee will move as the offense moves forward. So next matchup.
Chicago versus Cleveland.
Chicago versus Cleveland.
Justin Fields, first start in the NFL.
Yeah, not an easy matchup. You're going into Cleveland. You got Clowney and Myles Garrett coming at you. Could be a rough day for him. But again, I mean, I bet he rushes for 40, 50 yards.
He seems very patient in the pocket. It doesn't seem like he likes to throw into double coverage or anything. He'd rather just tuck the ball and run. So expect a lot of that, I think, out of him.
Yeah, he's a stash, not a start right
Yeah.
now. Baker, I'm not starting him against the Chicago's defense. It's not a Baker week. Running backs, Nick Chubb all day. Kareem Hunt, I'm going to shy away again this week. Again, I like Kareem Hunt in shootouts when they have to pass a lot and they're coming back, something like that. Chicago, another Nick Chubb week. David Montgomery, Cleveland has a middling rush defense, so you could roll with him. Receivers, Odell
Is back this week. Jarvis is out. So let's expect a big week from Odell. If not, we could see Austin Hooper.
It's a
more
tough
involved.
defense,
Yeah.
but I think he's going to get value, and I think he could
And
bring off a
it
big
looks
play.
like they were really waiting for him to be fully healthy, so I don't expect him to be out there limited or anything like that.
Yeah, I think he could have a good. It's a tough defense, but he should get value. Darnell Mooney, you starting him?
I wouldn't. You should not be starting Darrell Mooney yet.
Not yet, but keep
We'll s-
keep an eye on him right now. He's interesting, just because of his talent. And last game he looked okay. Allen Robinson, of course, start him.
Start.
Tight ends, Austin Hooper, like you said, Landry's out, could get some more targets, and you're not starting a Bears tight end, so we can move on to the next matchup. Baltimore at Detroit. As far as matchups go, can't get a better one too much in Detroit right now for a quarterback, so Lamar Jackson, roll out with him.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Detroit likes to stay in a lot of these games. They don't seem to just be the same Detroit Lions getting blown out. They will fight back and put up points. So
Yeah, Jared Goff, he will never be mentioned on this fantasy show again. I'm sorry. I don't know why I even mentioned that guy's name. Or at least not anytime soon. Receivers, Marquise Brown. He's getting hot. Start him. That's a great start. Receivers, Quentin Cephas or something.
yeah, Tyson
for the
Williams seems to
Detroit.
probably be out another week. So.
Yeah, and you're not going to start any Lions receiver, even though that guy had a good week. You could keep an eye on him.
Cephas is interesting. He's a little. He seems to be good if Tyson Williams is out. He's not a bad streamer.
A second-year receiver. I don't know. We'll see. But not against the Ravens. Running backs. Jamal Williams, I'm not starting him.
No.
It's a committee. It's not a great committee, and he's the 1B to that committee. So roll with Swift, especially in PPR. He should be a back-end RB2. Maybe he gets into the middle early on a good week if he scores. And if you're praying for a touchdown, roll with Latavius Murray on the Ravens. And Tyson Wilson. I mean, the guy looks great. Roll with him. He's a mid-high-end RB2 or in PPR, lower end. But
Yeah, it seems like he's still leading that back. We still don't know how that the backfield's going to end up, but it seems like he's still leading the backfield. So
yeah, two big tight ends here. You got T.J. Hawkinson. Looks like number 3 on the season. I mean, right behind Gronk and Kelsey. And then Mark Andrews, slow start, but look for him to score here. I think this is his breakout game this year. Next matchup, we got the Saints at the Patriots. Listen, it's at New England. It's a tough defense. The Saints just got crushed by the Carolina. But Sean Payton's a good coach too, not just Belichick. And now I don't look for them to have a great week. I do think they bounce back from last week. I wouldn't start Winston, but he's somebody to look at later in the season. Maybe if they get it together. Mac Jones, not ready to start in fantasy. Promising career ahead of him. Running backs, Damian Harris, absolutely. Saints tough defense, but he's a rock-solid RB2 right now.
yes, he broke out for a nice big run this past week.
Yeah, that guy was like running people over.
Broke 8 tackles. brought it in for a touchdown. So
Yeah, that was nice, even against my Jets. Hurt me as much as the defenders. Kamara. Listen, everybody has a bad game, right? Rodgers and Jones in week 1, Kamara week 2. I'm not worried yet, so roll with Kamara as his top 5 option at running back. He should have a good week.
I am worried about Kamara this year. I really am. He hasn't played to his potential, to his top 3 running back coming into the season. So I'm worried about that offense. Seems like Winston isn't what we thought he would be. The offense isn't what we thought it would be. They're not throwing the ball for a lot of yards. So I feel like it is affecting his rushing ability to run the ball.
I feel like it's an overreaction by everybody because you have a great coach, you have a great offensive line, and you have a great running back. You'll figure out how to make it work. It's 1 week. He did fine week 1. It's 1 week, but we'll see. Receivers or tight ends. I mean, you could. I
think
these aren't the worst tight ends.
This is going to be a defensive game.
Yeah.
Not a lot of points scoring.
I'm not starting Aguilar or Myers or Callaway or Deontay Harris, a receiver. Henry or Jonnu in deeper leagues for tight end, and Jawan Johnson or Troutman on the Saints. They're kind of like in the same range. But yeah, you're gonna stay away there. Next matchup we got this should be a high scoring game. Cardinals at Jacksonville.
A high scoring game?
Yeah, I
for
think
Arizona.
True. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence might be running for his life. Chandler Jones is coming at him. Trevor Lawrence, he's officially fantasy irrelevant after last week. You could basically forget about him for now. I would not roster him.
Yeah, it was a bad week for rookie quarterbacks last week. A lot of interceptions.
All right, don't remind me. I know what happened with Zach Wilson, all right? Cardinals, Kyler Murray, start of the week, number 1 in their rankings. Start him. Hot. Running backs, James Robinson could have a bounce-back week. He's the pass catcher there. They're going to need to catch up. So, Chase Edmonds, we'll see. He's a good, okay flex. This could be a James Conner game if they take control early.
Yeah, I was big on Chase Edmonds, but these last couple weeks he's kind of slowed down there. So I could see I could see them going with James Conner this week a little bit more.
Yeah. Receivers, I would start Marvin Jones. He's been their number 1, most consistent.
I think he's the only relevant guy the Jacksonville has. Shenault is back. He's fully healthy again today. So he's back.
It's a bad offense, so Shark is inconsistent, Chenault's inconsistent. I don't want that. Now the Cardinals, on the other hand, D-Hop, top 5 receiver, top 6, 7 maybe.
I feel like all the receivers in Arizona are relevant right now.
They are. AJ Green, touchdown. Still has some juice. Rondell Moore, rookie, electrifying.
Christian Kirk is still
Christian Kirk had 2 touchdowns last game. Rondell Moore, 100 something yards and a touchdown for a 77-yard bomb last game.
Kyle Murray does a really good job of spreading the ball around and creating big plays when he breaks the play down, and he's running around back there, and he finds his receivers wide open, and they run it home. So it seems to happen every game.
Yes, sir. Arizona's tight end had a good game last game, but I believe that's a fluke. That was his first game ever like that. No good tight ends in Jacksonville either. Next game, we got the Washington football team. They need to pick a logo eventually.
Yeah, when's that going to happen, Washington? What's up with that?
Washington football team at Buffalo. So quarterbacks, Travis Henneke is probably going to be the worst quarterback of the week against the Buffalo Bills defense in Buffalo.
I'm still upset about last week.
Josh Allen starting slow this season. This is not the game he's going to break out against. Not that defensive line. Not with
we'll see.
Not with Chase Young. Not with Montez Sweat. This won't be the game for him.
I mean, Daniel Jones didn't have a bad game against them.
True. We'll see. Running backs, Antonio Gibson, roll with him. high end RB2, low end RB1 right now.
Devin Singletary has had a good couple last few games, so I think he's a good flex play for now until he's proven wrong. But
yeah, you're hoping for him to punch it in, but against the Washington football team, I'm keeping Singletary in the locker room. Receivers, Diggs, Bills, roll with him, should have a big game. Even Emmanuel Sanders, underperforming, but getting high volume, high targets, down the field yards. He's going to have a big game soon. And then how about Terry McLaurin, hyper targeted from Travis Henneke? Look for him to have an okay game just because of the volume that he's going to get and because he's a talented receiver to break through that tough D. Tight ends, Logan Thomas, top 10 this week. Back end, of course. Roll with him. He's out there every single play.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Knox, I guess, on Buffalo, but he's not really that relevant.
He had a touchdown last week, but
it was nice.
Yeah.
Jets at Denver. The Jets are in trouble this game. Zach Wilson's nowhere near starting. Terry Bridgewater, if you're desperate, because it's against the Jets. Courtland Sutton, receiver, should have the biggest game here. If you want to take a shot at Tim Patrick, you could. KJ Hamler, I'm staying away from, even though him and Tim Patrick are like the same guy as far as fantasy for me right now.
It seems like Tim Patrick's more touchdown dependent. It looks like he seems to be getting more of the touchdowns. So,
yep, I think Denver has the best secondary in the league, so I'm sitting Corey Davis this week. Michael Carter a deep flex, but more of a stash than start right now. And then Gordon and Javonte Williams. You could start them both in a flex. They're low-end flex plays right now. Miami at Vegas. Miami's playing without Tua, going to the Vegas Raiders after they just beat the Steelers and the Ravens. You got Derek Carr, quarterback. Not a great game for Carr. Miami's actually a really good defense.
Where do you put Carr right now? Do you think he's fantasy relevant right now?
Yes, he is.
What are some quarterbacks that you would start right now ahead of him? Would you start him over Tannehill right now?
That's a good question. I would start in this next matchup. I would probably start Tannehill just because the Dolphins have a good secondary. And yeah, I don't know, man. Derek Carr, averaging like 400 passing yards against the Steelers and the Ravens D. So you got to give him respect.
Yeah,
I think Matt Ryan, 100%. Yes. Over Trevor Lawrence, over Big Ben, over all those like middle tiered guys. Over Sam Darnold. I mean, over.
I think he comes like right after
Stafford.
Yeah.
I think he's like right next to Stafford right now. So like
right next to Stafford.
The 10 to 13 range is where I got him. Well, it's a good question. Josh Jacobs, if he starts,
I think he might be out another week.
He might be out another week. So roll with Kenyon Drake, Peyton Barber at your own will, but could be a good Peyton Barber game because of game script. Gaskin, disappointing this year. A little bit of a committee there. Not that good of an offense. Start him at will, but I wouldn't. Henry Ruggs, still boomer bust for me. Hasn't proven. Darren Waller, definitely the number 2 tight end to want in fantasy right now. He should have a big week. I can't start any of the Dolphins receivers, even with Will Fuller back. Jalen Waddle, Parker, I'm out.
Hunter Renfrow is interesting PPR, I think. He seems to be getting a lot of targets and a lot of receptions. So
true. PPR, yeah. Okay. Tight end for the Dolphins, Gesicki out. Yep. I'm out on Gesicki so far this year. He's shown us nothing.
Yeah, just stay away from Miami right now.
Stay away from Miami. All right, Seattle at Minnesota. We got quarterbacks Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson. Start them both. They're both good starts this week.
I like this game. This game should be a good
It's another shootout. Yeah. I think Kirk Cousins and Russell Wilson both going to have good numbers. I think Kirk Cousins a top 10 quarterback this week.
Yeah, he's been doing pretty good every week, so.
Yeah, or like right on the verge of it.
I've been streaming him in and out last couple weeks, so.
All right,
He's a good
yeah.
option.
And Russell Wilson's playing great. Receivers, same thing. Fly them all off. DK, Lockett on the Seahawks, Jefferson.
Thielen.
Do you start KJ Osborne,
Osborne.
in a deep league?
If you have to. If you have to.
But guys like Rondo Moore.
Yeah, exactly. If you really have to, if you have no other option and you pick them up from the waivers or whatever,
Henry Ruggs or KJ Osborne?
I'd go Ruggs.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Running backs. I mean, Carson, Cook. You're starting them both.
Yeah. Carson. Not Carson. Cooks did pick up he did become questionable as of today, so it shouldn't be anything serious, but.
Yeah, this is a smash spot for Cook. He might be able to get number one on a week this week. Next game. This is probably the game of the week.
Yep.
Tampa Bay at LA Rams.
These are possibly the best two teams in the league right now, maybe, offensively.
Yeah. I mean, you got
So I have the Chiefs, now the Ravens,
the Raiders, too.
the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, quarterbacks, it's not the best matchup for Tom Brady. You know, he struggles when there's interior pressure like Aaron Donald. So, back end quarterback won this week for Brady, even though how hot he is.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're going to bring 99 and they're going to put Ramsey on, just have Ramsey everywhere.
And well, now you could put him on Evans and double Godwin. If Brown's out, let's see. If Brown's in.
Yeah,
they're not going to put Ramsey on Brown.
Yeah, this is the thing. They're just gonna, what the Bucks are gonna do. They're just gonna look for where Ramsey's at and not throw there. They have so many weapons.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to be on Brown. I think they're going to put him on a bigger receiver of Godwin or Evans.
You're gonna see him everywhere.
True. But you got to roll with all the receivers and if they're starting, even Antonio Brown on this game. Rams. Start Robert. Good matchup for receivers. Cooper Kupp, obviously rolling with him as a back-end wide receiver one. And Robert Woods, not a great start to the year, but look for him to get on track here. Darrell Henderson, questionable. If he starts, roll with him. If not,
Sony Michel.
Yeah, adjust to your expectations here. It's very hard to run against Tampa. Darrell Henderson, flex him if you start him. Sony Michel, I'm not starting him.
I'd stay away from him.
Yeah.
I see them just probably throwing the ball a lot more if Henderson can't go.
Yeah, I don't even want Fournette, Rojo in this game either. Rojo is getting close to droppable, honestly.
Yeah, trade him, drop him. Rojo is not it right now. Obviously, Fournette's been the man there right now, and seems like they like him a lot. So I think Fournette's just going to end up taking that job there.
Tight ends, Gronk, roll with him. Higbee should have a bounce-back week after one catch. They'll get him involved here. He's always out there, so they'll get him involved.
Expect another big game from Gronk.
Yeah. Sunday Night Football, Green Bay at San Francisco. Aaron Rodgers, look for him to continue his hot streak. That was just a one-off, ladies and gentlemen, from week one. That is not Aaron Rodgers. Trust me on that. Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm not starting. Packers have a good pass defense. You're probably not starting him anyway. We could get straight through running backs here. Elijah Mitchell should start. Hasty.
Yeah, it seems like Elijah Mitchell's the only guy standing there. So
Sermon's
concussion.
Hasty, high ankle sprain out for a while. So roll with Elijah Mitchell as a solid RB2. Aaron Jones, top 6 option. Top 7 option, maybe in a tough week here. Receivers. Ayuk, can't do nothing with him yet. Debo's
the only safe guy there.
Debo, but he could get Jared Alexander treatment, which could be a rough week for him.
Yeah, this is a tough matchup for him. So maybe Ayuk isn't such a bad maybe play this week.
Or not a play, just a stash right now. He's getting nothing right now. Well, we'll see. Devontae Adams, starting him. That's the only receiver right now. MVS had 0 catches last game. Lazard's not doing much. You could roll with both tight ends here. I think they could both get a touchdown in this game.
Yep.
Kittle, breakout game. Tanyan, always a touchdown threat. Both good for this game. I think that's it for that matchup.
Yep.
Last game of the week. NFC East showdown. Philly at Dallas. Quarterbacks. Good matchup for both of them.
Yeah, I love Jalen Hurts so far this year.
Jalen Hurts?
He's doing a lot better than I thought he would.
Yep, and Dak will 100% have a back bounce game against a weak secondary in Philly. You got Zeke, and is Tony Pollard a flex play this week? Has he worked his way into flex? You could start Zeke, obviously, as a back-end RB1 that will never be top 5 again, mark my words, because of the talent of Pollard. There's no reason for the Dallas to stop them using Pollard.
Yeah, it seems like they like him, and he's out there for a lot of plays. And yeah, but I think he is a good option this week just because they are playing Philly, and they're probably going to score a lot. So.
Yeah, he has some low-end flex appeal. Gets good passing volume.
Yeah, I like Pollard just in a nice low flex.
Miles Sanders. Great start for Miles Sanders this week. He can hop into the top 10. Eagles receivers. Devontae Smith. You could start him in a flex this week. He should have a bounce back week. Yep. CD starting. Amari starting.
Just Amari is coming. He has a rib injury, so just keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah. And Goddard coming off a bad week, but roll with him. I mean, tight end's a scarce position.
Yeah, Goddard's another boomer bust tight end. Yeah.
And Schultz, Jarwin, I'm out right now.
All right.
That's it.
That's it for matchups.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our last segment, our locker room locks of the week. This is week 3. We did pretty good last week. I went 2-1. Brian went 3-0.
3-0, baby.
Combined record 5-1. But there's a bet on the table. Whoever loses at the end of the season, the other person has to wear the T-shirt saying whatever the other person wants.
Yes.
So.
Hey, maybe we should let them in on this. Maybe
if you guys
give some recommendations of things
in comments,
leave some recommendations that you would want to see Ricky wear on his shirt, or you would want me to wear on my shirt. And we have to wear this shirt for the whole day, and we're going out for dinner as well.
We're going out to dinner in a restaurant, so it will be photographed on Instagram. Yes. And when we get your comments from what you think the shirt should be, we'll put a poll on Instagram with the top 2 choices.
Yeah.
All right. So this week, locker room picks of the week, I got Green Bay at 49ers plus 3.5. I got Las Vegas Raiders after they just beat the Ravens and the Steelers to beat the Dolphins. Only by 4, I'll take them at home. And then we got the Washington football team at Buffalo. It's a good defense. They could keep it close. I got them plus 8.
All right. I have Cleveland minus 7. Who are they playing? Jacksonville? No. They're playing Chicago, yes. So I got them minus 7. They should I think they should probably have a couple picks off fields. So I see the defense playing a big role in that. I took Las Vegas as well, minus 4. And then I took Arizona minus 7. They're playing Jacksonville, so I think that should be a kind of a blowout there. So if you took my picks last week, made you some money. So
all right, later guys.
All right, thank you guys. Like, subscribe. All right, see you guys next week.